Senator Cortez Masto.
Thank you. I appreciate the conversation today as well as with this bill. Let me just, with all due respect, the bill that you talked about that you dropped earlier today still identifies Yucca Mountain as a site and does not give the state of Nevada consent-based siting. And that is why I disagree with it. If all the states were treated equally when we're looking at deep geologic storage, that's one thing. But still, we have, I think, a policy moving forward that's not based on sound science for the very reason that you said a lot of these deep geologic sites are in granite. Yucca Mountain is not granite, it's volcanic. But let me get to the question I think that my colleague also asked. This was a concern of mine, and I think we should have been addressing this for the last 20 years, is what do we do with this waste? And what I'm hearing is that this legislation, as it tackles advanced nuclear reactor technologies, and I think Dr. Finnan, you address this, is that part of the benefits of advanced nuclear reactor technologies is the reduction in nuclear waste. Can you address that specifically?
Sure. I mean, I think that I want to just say that I appreciate the question and that the waste issue is really important. If for nuclear to contribute to carbon reductions to the extent that it's capable, we have to address this waste issue. Advanced nuclear reactors can reduce the nuclear waste quantity and the length of time that it needs to be managed, but we will still need ultimately to come to a policy that has broad support and is sustainable, because we've been managing waste for a long time, and I think that the nuclear industry actually manages its waste better than any other. We track it, we store it, we package it, we watch it, we keep track of it. I mean, it's really, we do a lot of managing, but we don't have a long-term strategy. So I think it's time to take a hard look at our technological options and at our process and commit to finding
I agree.
a
I agree with
strategy.
that on the policy, and I think that's what we should have been doing the last 20 years. We've wasted time and money. But my question to you is this bill, and what I've told this bill is focused, this advanced nuclear reactor technology that we're all want to invest in and do the R&D and move toward, is to reduce, it has the benefit of reducing nuclear waste. Can you give me specifics on that and how it reduces it? And I'd open it up for anybody else as well to talk about it.
Just to put succinctly, the reason you go to the higher enrichments, we've talked about HALEU, high assay, low enriched uranium, you push the enrichments up, is part because you want to go small to even very small, but also because you can generate more unit energy per amount of fuel. So you're using less fuel to get the same amount of energy, where you can generate more energy out of the fuel. So you're minimizing the amount of spent fuel that has to be managed. Yeah, some of the reactor technologies could also, in theory, if one chose, could actually use that material as fuel and even recycle the material.
Yeah, I think that's really the point that we're making too, without going into a lot of, sort of nuclear engineering specifics. Right. The kind of fuel that these units use that we're calling waste is really just transformed. It has taken what was U-235 and it's made it something else. It's made it some into plutonium. It's made it some into U-238. These advanced reactors, they use that kind of fuel. So really what we're creating is what you call today as waste is future nuclear fuel. And now we're building reactors that can use that future nuclear fuel.
Thank you. And so my next question then is this Senate 903, this bill, is it focused specifically on incentivizing and supporting advanced nuclear technology, or does the existing nuclear fleet that we have get to take advantage of some of the amendments and language in here, like extending the purchase power agreements, the pilot projects? Does our existing fleet get to take advantage of Section 903 as well?
This legislation is specifically focused on advanced reactors.
So what I'm hearing right now is our existing fleet of nuclear reactors cannot benefit at all from Section 903, from the Senate Bill 903.
Well, I would just take one exception to that. The HALEU provision for this, there are some of the current fleet that would like to use some of the higher enrichment. What that allows them to do is operate a longer period of time, which enables them to reduce some cost. So there is some benefit for them through the HALEU.
Right. There's Maria is quite right in mentioning that Lightbridge Corporation, along with Framatome, is developing a metallic fuel that would utilize HALEU in order to produce a fuel for the current fleet that would allow both higher utilization of those facilities. It may also allow them to increase their power to make them even more efficient. So in that regard, yeah, the bill does include the language in here would be helpful in that regard.
Okay.
And Senator, can I just add the extension of the federal power purchase agreement term can benefit all technologies. That's technology neutral. So it could benefit nuclear technologies, it could benefit geothermal, solar, and wind. And I think that's an important aspect of the bill.
Thank you. Thank you very much.